Morning everybody, off-road rider here. Mostly intentional, sometimes by surprise, well, to me at least. So good morning everybody. I have decided to retire from my day-to-day job. Spent the last, few decades in the industrial space, industrial automation, turnarounds, generally corporate businesses. Worked for a lot of great people, worked for a couple of not so great people, worked with a lot of great people, been on a lot of great teams, spent a lot of time on airplanes and hotels, and away from family and home and from the stuff that's fun. So decided that I'm done working for a living, so to speak. And I've been soul searching the last couple of years, so what I want to do as far as a hobby job. I have another one that I really like, but I always loved motorcycles since I was about 8 years old. Me and my brother once found a moped in a barn at our summer house, and we ended up getting that started. And our dad helped us get it together so we can ride it at our summer house. And since that day, I've always been interested in two wheels with an engine. And so has my brother. We normally meet up at least once a year, going riding somewhere. We have got the opportunity the last 10 years to done some great off-road riding, not only in the US but in Portugal and Iceland, and we've ridden with some great outfits such as Rawhide, Touratech, Ride Nordic, and thanks to that I think this is my fourth BMW GS Adventure. I prefer to ride it off-road, which doesn't have to be a gnarly single track. It can certainly be a gravel road or a two-lane, but I like getting off the beaten path. There's also not anybody behind me on a nice single track or a trail in the forest, or one of the BDRs in the US in an SUV on their cell phone texting their friends about what they're gonna do next, or picture of the food I just had for lunch. So like that part. Decided that my next stop is going to be working with motorcycles. I like the people, I like the equipment, and I'm going to join a local BMW dealership close to where I live. They open up a brand new store earlier this year. It looks fantastic. I like the people that work there, I like the owner, and I'm really looking forward to spend time there talking motorcycles, riding motorcycles, drinking good coffee, good conversation with like-minded people, and probably spending every cent I make on buying parts and motorcycles at the dealership. But hey, that's the next step in my life. And getting back to doing some off-road training in two parts of it. Get more coaching from the different schools in the US. I'm thinking of course Rawhide is my number one out in California, which is a privately held BMW school. I spend a lot of my time and my money out there. It's a great outfit. And I'm also going to try out the BMW school in South Carolina, which is more of a corporate school owned by BMW. And maybe locally I can help out doing some coaching for people locally here that have bought a big bike and want to take it off-road or on gravel roads, but feel more comfortable and maybe drop their bikes less, and hopefully go on some trips with those people that I hope to meet through the dealership that I'm going to work. So instead of having a 45-minute commute like I had to my previous job, so I spent about an hour and a half in the car every day, going back and forth to an office and a plant early in the morning, home late in the evening. and I have about a 9-minute commute on my motorcycle to the dealership. I intend to ride there as much as I possibly can. Of course, when the snow comes, I will be hiding in my pickup truck and drive to work instead. Looking forward to the short drive in the morning and the short drive home in the evening. That's probably sometimes going to be a longer drive going home, taking a detour, just for the fun of it. So why did I decide that this is what I want to do? Well, like I mentioned, I have a lifelong love for motorcycles. It's something my brother liked to do as well. I got a lot of friends in the motorcycle industry I met mainly the last 10 years. Not only in the US, but certainly in Sweden and in Germany as well. I actually did a corporate team building event once at the Rawhide off-road school in California. I invited some people in my leadership team and some managers, and we all went to Rawhide to ride for a weekend. I probably should have done some more research before that. Like most guys, none of us want to admit that we can't drive or ride. I did ask all my coworkers. I sent them video clips, YouTube clips showing Rawhide training. Said, this is what we're gonna do. Are you guys okay with it? Are you up for it? And everybody said, yeah, of course. A couple of them came to my house to try out one of my bikes just in my backyard, and it was a rocky to say the least, but they all thought, hey, we can do this. Well, we showed up at Rawhide. Of course, first evening went well. We had a few beers, sat at the bonfire, had a nice dinner together, and the day after the class started, and half of it kind of fell apart early in the morning. I think one of the gentlemen decided around 10 o'clock that this wasn't for him. So he spent the next 2 days relaxing at Rawhide. I think he found a guitar to play as well. And if I remember right, he wrote a song about Rawhide. Another gentleman struggled through the class. But I think in general, they all did good. And that event made all of us to keep contact. So even though I believe this is 8 years ago, we live in different parts of the world, but we still stay connected. And motorcycles seem to be what's keeping us together. Not necessarily that we work together as a team, 8-10 years ago. So like the camaraderie part of it, like the camaraderie it builds. To me, the off-road part builds more camaraderie than the on-road part. You kind of have to help each other out, especially if the going gets tough when you ride off-road and people drop their bikes. I drop my bike, bikes get stuck, things break. We help each other get over the obstacles, maybe help fixing a bike, making sure people are okay. And there's no beer that tastes better than a beer in the evening after a long day of what I call ADV riding. So I'm going to talk more about bikes later. Obviously, as part of doing this, my intention is to do some short bike reviews, more overviews than reviews, I would say. Obviously, especially BMW bikes, since I'll be working for a BMW dealership, which is the brand I wanted to work for many reasons. Starting out with Rawhide again, that's my foundation for BMW. I actually went there for a team building event with some customers. Ended up coming home, and 2 weeks later bought my first GS. And I think thanks to Rawhide, I've owned 5 GSs so far. Well, showing up at my new place of work. So this is where you can find me going forward. Looking forward to bikes, parts, people, and experiences. Good morning.